Hello everyone and welcome to Driver's Therapy. Today we have a orange chair story for you and I'm really pumped up because this is super cool. We've got John Travolta's original house in the Spruce Creek Fly-In, one of the nicest P-51 Mustangs I've ever seen. A girl that I was seeing at the time and a really cool college friend and a photo shoot and then a random flight all in one day. Right? Crazy. So that's why we're going to be telling you this story, because this all went down. So I am an Embry-Riddle alumni. I know you guys probably have never even heard of that school. It's only for like aviation geeks, but it's like the ultimate school for aviation. Super expensive. I didn't pay for it. The GI Bill did. But it is located in Daytona Beach, Florida. And that's where I moved to go to school. I was there for about 4 years. I got my undergraduate degree, and it's a really pretty campus. But you meet people from all over the world. And these people, or the students there, are definitely not your average student. I mean, there's people from Saudi Arabia, Dubai, UK, Switzerland, Netherlands, everywhere you could think of. It was insane. But it's a neat school. But while I was going there, I befriended a bunch of people because at the time I was driving my right-hand drive R33 Nissan Skyline GTS-T, which was pretty decked out. And I got to meet a lot of people because it was a very unique car. Back then it was super unique. Long story short, I met a lot of people. And one of the people I met, and I'm not going to say his name because I didn't ask him if I can make this video, but we'll just call him Jay. And I'm sure I could reach out to him and ask him, but why not? I just want to tell you guys the story anyways. So Jay was super cool, super flamboyant, and he always had some really cool cars, and he was car crazy. And we would hang out. We would go to the Daytona Speedway together because literally Embry-Riddle was like right here, and the Daytona International Speedway was like right next door, like literally right next door. So you had the Embry-Riddle School, the Daytona Beach Airport, and then you had the Daytona International Speedway. So it was quite an adventure. And you hear the cars all the time. And I'm going to make a story about how I snuck into Daytona International Speedway and it ended up making me crazy about motorsports. And that's a whole different story. But anyways, me and Jay would be like, hey man, you want to go to Daytona Beach and just go check out like the Porsches racing or the Ferraris racing or whatever's out there racing. And we would meet up there and hang out. And we had a lot of great adventures. But little did I know that Jay was actually, he was super cool, but he comes from a very interesting background. So one day Jay invites me over to his house, and he lives in Spruce Creek Fly-In. And if you guys are not familiar with Spruce Creek Fly-In, it is literally a super nice neighborhood. It's a gated neighborhood that is, it's kind of a flying community. And what that is that you have a super nice house, and then you have this massive hangar attached to your house. And you just wake up, and if you want to go flying, you just wake up, walk to your hangar / garage, get in a plane, taxi out, and you're up in the air. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more intricate than that, but you lived and you flew in the same place. And it was a very pretty nice neighborhood. So he invited me over one time for pizza, and we were hanging out, and he just dropped this bombshell on me. He's like, so by the way, this was John Travolta's original house in Spruce Creek Fly-In. So as I was eating my pizza, I was like, that's pretty cool. And, you know, he was talking about how, you know, John Travolta had some type of issues or something like that with his plane when he lived there or whatever. And it looks like John Travolta's had a lot of like flying houses. I wouldn't say a lot. Like when you say a lot, you probably think like 20 or 30, but I'm just saying a handful of them. But that was one of the original ones. And I did verify it. Again, I got to keep everybody's, identity protected because this is, this is my story. But this was like almost 15 years ago, so it's okay to say the story. So we're having pizza, and then he's like, hey, let's go do a photo shoot. And one of his friends, and I'm going to give credit to his picture anyway, so I'm going to say one of his friends, James Dingle, very smart guy, very intelligent, and a very talented photographer. He's like, we're going to go do a photo shoot with this Mustang, this like, I think it's a P-51 Mustang, and let's go. So we got in our cars and we drove over to his hangar, and there was this gorgeous, just one of the most beautiful aircrafts I've ever seen in my life. And at the time, this is where the story gets a little spicy. There was this girl I was hanging out with, but she like friend zoned me, and that kind of sucked because like I was like, really? But don't worry, I wasn't paying everything or whatever. But it was just nice to have somebody hanging around with me all the time. She was always hanging out, and we were always hanging out. But definitely, I was interested in her, but she was friend zoning me. But anyways, we were all, it was me, her, and a bunch of people. It was a bunch of cars, and we went over and we just started taking pictures with this P-51 Mustang. I got my Skyline and parking next to it, and it was a blast. And while we were taking pictures, the funny thing is, it was like a car show. Like vintage Porsches were driving. The hangar like next door had like these crazy expensive like Porsche race cars. And I mean, this was a community about planes and cars. It was crazy. But while we were doing photos, it was like insane. Like you saw all these awesome jets, you saw planes and vintage planes, and then you saw people with their cars driving around in golf carts. It was a really neat experience. And then the girls, because there was all the girls, they started sitting on the wing of the P-51 Mustang and getting pictures, and it was really cool. So then I would say we were doing those pictures, hanging out, and then this guy walks over, and he's like curious of what we're doing, and we're hanging out, and he looks at the girl that I'm with, and he's like, whoa. And he looks over and he's like, do you want to go on a flight? And she was nice. She's like, oh, I'm with everyone here. And he's like, well, you could bring 2 or 3 people with you. And he's like, but I want you to sit in the front. And this like guy was like totally hitting on the girl that my friend friend zoned. And so we got in this plane, and and we were just kind of like the third wheel, me and somebody else, me and my buddy. But it was cool though, because we were in like some plane. We just jumped into some random plane, and he was talking to the girl. That typical stuff where like, this button is for this, and I didn't care because I was just like excited about flying and stuff like that. And we flew around, and it was pretty cool. And then we landed. Talk about a crazy day. Talk about pizza at John Travolta's original house, P-51 Mustang, flying into some random plane, and seeing like a little car show on the airstrip. It was really unique. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that story because it brings back memories, but it was a lot of fun for me. And I have a lot of stories like this. Oh my gosh, I've been through a lot. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. You take care. Punch that like button. Punch that subscribe button. Share this video. You guys take care. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.